Welcome to Ageless Desire, the show where growing older means growing bolder when it comes to bodies, pleasure, and connection. I'm your host, and today we're diving into a topic that has often been whispered about, especially here in Australia: sex and intimacy in our later years. For decades, many older individuals have been told that desire has a use by date, that passion is a privilege of the young. Yet, surveys indicate that over 60% of adults aged 40 and older still consider sexual activity essential for a fulfilling relationship, with many claiming their sex life is just as satisfying, if not more so, than it was a decade ago. So let's dive deeper into the misconceptions about sexuality in older age. The idea that once you reach a certain age, say 65, you should stop feeling attracted to others or seeking intimacy. Our culture has many of us believing that sex is just for the young and trendy, leaving older adults feeling unworthy of such desires. And here's a thought. What if we challenged that narrative? This idea that once your hair turns gray and wrinkles appear, your sexual energy just fades away? It leads to a painful silence where older adults feel embarrassed to discuss their needs and desires. If we don't open the floor for this conversation, we risk leaving an entire generation of people feeling isolated and disconnected.
Exactly. And consider this perspective. A woman shared her experience caring for her elderly father. She said, "I never really understood what it meant to be old until I saw my father navigate his 80s. It struck me how easily we strip older people of their erotic selves, as if desire flips a switch and turns off with retirement."
That brings us to an important point, doesn't it? Research tells us that about two-thirds of adults over 40 do have a regular sexual partner, many of whom are still active in their 70s, enjoying sex several times a week. So, there's clearly a disconnect between public perception and reality. But if the desire is there, why is it so challenging for older adults to embrace this part of who they are?
Absolutely. Part of the answer lies in silence. Families steer clear, healthcare professionals often avoid the topic, and older adults themselves might feel too embarrassed to bring it up. Not to mention the very real challenges they face, from lack of privacy in aged care facilities to safety concerns that make expressions of intimacy seem risky.
Adding to that complexity is how society views aging, internalized ageism. We hear that wrinkles and gray hair are not the recipe for sexy, right? This can deeply affect one's self-esteem. Imagine believing that you are less desirable simply because you've aged. It's no wonder many older individuals struggle to see themselves as sexual beings, even if their bodies are very much capable of pleasure.
Indeed, and I think it's critical to have open dialogues about what people are actually feeling. In one illuminating survey of people over 40, an impressive 61% regarded sexual activity as critical to a healthy relationship, with nearly half feeling satisfied with their sex lives. So what are they really valuing in their intimate lives?
Well, listeners might be surprised to learn that it goes beyond mere physical connections. Often, aspects like regular affirmations of love, those sweet little phrases, celebrating milestones together, and even simple gestures such as holding hands, kissing, or hugging carry immense weight. Intimacy is so multifaceted, much more than just intercourse. It's about connection.
Exactly. The same survey revealed that while many older adults still harbor sexual thoughts and fantasies, they frequently keep these to themselves. Just picture the potential transformation in relationships if those fantasies could be shared openly, without shame. It could completely reshape how intimacy is expressed.
Right, and this leads us to a compelling notion. Sexual relationships are not just about the act of sex. They're a basic human right and a natural aspect of aging. As we get older, the pressure often associated with performance evaporates, allowing for exploring new forms of pleasure.
Writers and educators on this topic suggest that aging gifts us a unique lens to experience intimacy. Many encourage older adults to embrace their sexuality, to take care of their sexual health as diligently as they do their heart health or mobility. It's all interconnected.
Brilliantly put. This also means being proactive during doctor visits. It's essential to address issues like pain, medication side effects, or erectile difficulties bravely. If your concerns are brushed off, it's vital to seek out someone who will treat your questions with respect and seriousness. Opening these conversations could transform how we approach intimacy in later life.
And let's not forget making space in our culture for flirtation and romance at every stage of life, not only at 70, 80, but beyond. It mustn't be taboo. We deserve to relish in erotic joy, regardless of our age.
So, here's our invitation to our listeners. If you're tuning in today and you're over 60, your sexual desires and longing for connection are just as valid as anyone else's. They're legitimate and worth advocating for.
Engage in these conversations. Talk with your partner about what pleases you now, not just about what you assumed you should want when you were in your 30s. And for the younger audience, it's time to challenge the misconceptions that suggest sex ends at a certain age. One day, you might find yourselves thankful for the openness that you cultivate now.
As we wrap up today's episode of Ageless Desire, let's remember, normalizing the conversation around sexuality, intimacy, and older age is not just necessary, it's crucial. If today's discussion stirred any thoughts or questions, don't hesitate to share this episode with someone you trust. Let's foster a discussion that may very well change the narrative around sex and aging.
Thanks for being with us. Remember that everyone deserves the right to intimate relationships, no matter their age. We hope you'll join us next time as we continue to explore the joy of connection throughout all stages of life.